Welcome back, everybody, to Mind Over Matter. We got a very special guest who I haven't even talked to in a while. Tony Bello, how you doing, man?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Good, man. KD.
Hey, I'm great, dude. I
Yeah.
am phenomenal. I had some of my Shalajit this morning.
Hmm.
Link down below. Good stuff, though. If you're into like health and shit, I'll have to pick that up. But no, I'm feeling good, dude. I'm excited for this episode.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to bring Tony on because I've been struggling a little bit religiously. I just got into religion, just started believing in God. I kind of want a little more info and kind of just knowledge and experience from someone who's been doing it a long time, and I know Tony has that background. So Tony, just kind of want to dive into yourself, what you've been up to, what you're doing.
Yeah. My name is Tony Bello. I know Trevor through school. Pretty sure we went to school together from like youngins. Don't know when we started exactly, but we went all the way up through high school and went off to college at Indiana at first, and I switched to Eastern Illinois. Graduated from there, 2021. Now I'm in grad school. I just finished my first year. So I'm currently doing a GA graduate assistantship there. Doing summer school right now, working. And just kind of looking forward to next year when I'll be done by this time. So get started into the real world and see where life goes from there. So that's kind of what I've been into now. Um, working out, stuff like that, still staying fit,
Yeah,
all
looking
that good
big.
stuff. Just trying to, enjoy life and yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah, man. So we'll just dive right into it. What's kind of your religious background, and if kind of could you tag your culture into it too? Because even your Instagram bio, how would you say your Instagram bio?
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. So basically, so my family is basically all from either Nigeria, London. We're Nigerian by culture, but my mom was born in London. She grew up there for a little bit. I have a lot of family in London. Um, and yeah, so we're Nigerian Yoruba tribe. And most of the people in Yoruba, I mean, in Nigeria, are either Christian or Muslim. So my dad was actually a Muslim previously before he got converted to Christianity, kind of with my mom and stuff. And then, when I was born into the world, we was already, I think we were pretty much just like Pentecostal Christians by then. And
Hmm.
it's just always been like a part of our lives. Like religion is pretty big, like over, in like the continent of Africa. And yeah, just pretty much in my everyday life, like we're always praying as a family. Um, go to church every Sunday. Like a lot of people just go to church on holidays or something, or even not at all. But we're there, every Sunday. And even now, like since I've been in college, I think my mom, my grandma, my dad, and even now my sister, they're going multiple times a week to like church events, prayer meetings, helping out cleaning at the church, different things like that. So we're pretty involved in the church we're at now, and it's just always been like that. It's pretty much in our everyday lives somehow, some way. So
Yeah. How has it affected your everyday life? Oh.
uh, I would say it's been good. Like obviously everything with religion isn't, I don't know everything about it. I do have questions about some things, but I can say for certain I believe that it's improved my everyday life because I feel like when I was younger, like I was kind of just following the motions, but I feel like when I really got into like university, when I was on my own and I was actually, struggling with certain things in life that I couldn't just, ask my mom and dad to take care of or something like that, or ask for help on, or reach out to somebody. I had to figure it out myself, and then you kind of just look around for something that can help you, and sometimes you read a certain verse and that can get you out that mindset that you're not good enough for something, or you can't do something, or you're struggling. Like when I was at Indiana, part of the reason why I left was because I kept getting injured when I was running track. And anybody that knows me, like track is a big part of my life
Yeah.
as well. Like growing up, I wouldn't say I was really good, but I mean, I made state like all my 4 years in high school. Like I ended up going to a Big Ten school. I got on the team and things like that. So when I kept getting injured, like I never really had those type of injuries before. So it really brought me down to it was like a dark place. Like, all my friends they were traveling every week going to Florida, going to Arizona for meets, and I'm stuck in Indiana like for most of the year, not being able to run and stuff. So it kind of, brought me down. And sometimes like they'll be gone for the weekend. It's like, what are you supposed to do? Like, so sometimes during those moments I just turn to God, and he just helped me get through those, dark places and during my life, because it's really lonely sometimes, and when your friends aren't there all the time, and you're in a new area, it's kind of hard to adapt. And so yeah, I feel like
What
that's really. Go ahead.
yeah, what do you remember like what triggered you to just kind of like was it one occasion or just kind of everything accumulated to where you're like, look, I kind of need some help here. Let me turn a little more to God.
um I'll say it wasn't really one occasion, but it was definitely a multitude of things. Like, I was in the business school as well, Kelly Business School. They're really top business school in the country, and I was kind of struggling there as well, like in my classes. So I was struggling with my health on the track. I was struggling in classes, and I'm just like, man, like
Yeah.
obviously I don't have the tools to do it all myself. So I'm like, I'm gonna have to. And obviously, my parents are working. They have their own business and stuff. So it's like I can't keep going to them like I did before,
Yeah.
and I have to rely on like other things to be able to get me through these sort of hardships. And
Yeah,
I
what
just
you
feel like that's when I'm sorry.
my bad. What you said is important. You don't have the tools to do it yourself. Like it is hitting a point to where you realize that is very important. Uh,
Yeah.
you don't have the tools to do it yourself. I was listening to actually it was I was listening to a little Durk podcast with have you ever watched $1 million Worth of Game? It's a Barstool podcast. I'll
I
link it
think
down
I've
below.
seen or yeah,
Yeah.
I
So I
think
was
I've seen
watching
clips
Little
of it.
Dirks, and they were like, "Look, some you guys got to fill the role. Like everyone's got a role to play. Fill it. You don't have to." Like I just created the website, all this stuff to become a photographer at the gym. We'll see how that goes. But if I'm not a good photographer, why would I not fill the role of creating a website for someone who is a good photographer? You don't have the tools to do it yourself. You got to turn to, and not just in religion, to everything. Uh, but that was one thing that did make me turn to God is my I was carrying all this weight on my shoulders, taking all the hits for all this, and then finally I was just like, look, man, I can't do this anymore. If I keep doing this, I'll just drag myself through the mud the rest of my life. And so and turn to God, and it was more of someone who understands what's going on. And so when I'm talking to God, it's like, hey, this is like I know this is going on. So so like just throw something my way to help me out. And
It'll help.
and that's all I do. I keep it as vague as possible, I guess. Um is
Yeah.
that something you do? How do you kind of communicate with him?
Yeah, so like I said, I try to treat it like, it's like I'm talking to like anybody else. Like I feel like you don't need to be like, Almighty God, like Mother of Mary. Like obviously in some
Oh
like
Lord.
obviously in some, religions it's like that. But, for me, like I try to focus more on like I don't really focus on the religion part, because I think that in itself is kind of like there's a lot of flaws that can be found in that. Obviously, just because like it's people, like when you're dealing with people, like there's gonna be some corruption involved. Like just throughout history, we've seen it, and I don't think religion is like an exception to that. So I try to focus more on like my personal relationship with God, like more now than I like had in the past, obviously. But I just think talking to him like you would like just having a normal conversation, like obviously gearing it towards, like asking for things and, wanting him to whatever you need him to do, like whatever you feel like talking about. But I feel like you just need to make it more casual than you might think because I don't think it's like you don't have to come to him like you're talking to your boss or something like that. And I feel like it makes it easier on you as well because you don't feel like you need to be doing all this extra things just to have a conversation with him when he's much more accessible than that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
the way I see it is like God knows what you're trying to say. So like I really don't think there's necessarily a wrong or a right way to pray. I think it's just about
Hmm.
whatever makes you most comfortable. Like I'm the same way as you, dude. I'm not like, oh Lord, bestow upon me these gifts. It's like that just doesn't work for me. I'd rather just pray like I'm talking to someone. It just makes sense to me.
Okay, yeah. See, and growing up, I never had even like an idea of what praying looks like, other than like what society has put out, which is the hands together. You always see the hands together. That's what praying is. So in my mind, I
Hmm.
was thinking that's what I had to do if I ever was praying. But then,
I
Uh
mean, and
it,
and I think I think more now, like that's just like more like you need to get into like a quiet area, like it just needs to be you and him type of thing. Like you can just like be in a place where if you're really asking for these things and asking about these things, like it just needs to be you and him type of deal. So I think it's more like just kind of secluding yourself off, like just making sure you're focused type of deal. Um, and I don't know if like the action really has, because like you say, it's about like everybody's relationship with God is different. Like everybody in the same religion doesn't have the same relationship with God. Like so, I think you can go about it in a way that works for you, but just making sure that when it's that time, it's just like you and him. Like you're not in the middle of a conversation. You're not watching TV or something. You're not, just getting distracted by little things outside of that. So I mean, like I said, it doesn't have to be 20 minutes. It can be 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 10 minutes, however long you need to, kind of get out what you need. So I
yeah.
mean, that's kind of way I look at it.
Yeah, I think an issue with that like kind of turns people off to the idea of like trying to pray, right? Is because there's a lot of religions, and especially with like organized ones I've seen, where they're like, if you don't do, there's like a bunch of rules, right? It's like if you don't follow
Mm,
any of these, then you're going to hell. So it's like if you tell me that I have to pray a certain way or God's not going to hear me, like of course I'm going to say
Or
that's
even
ridiculous.
dress a certain way. Like a
Dress a
lot of
certain way,
like
act,
just
yeah.
yeah, it's yeah.
Like I think some of those rules are good, like not killing people and all that, you know. But like when we start telling people how to pray, how to go to the bathroom, it's like, oh my goodness gracious, who on earth is going to do that, bro?
Especially when you got someone who's like down in the dumps already, who's turning towards God.
yeah, I don't know. That one's kind of tough for me because I think sometimes that is more like intertwining the culture because like a lot of times you'll see that like when you see that type of stuff, like they've been doing that type of stuff for like thousands of years, or like it's not like something that just came up in like kind of recent times. So I'm kind of more understanding about those than like obviously others because others are more laid back, others are more strict, and I don't know. I just kind of see like ultimately people have the same goal in religion. So it's like kind of how you go about it isn't like I feel like you can do what works for you. Like if your culture is a culture that has these certain values and your religion fits into that and you can live with that, then by all means like go ahead. But if you're feeling like your religion is holding you back, then I feel like you shouldn't force yourself to be into that because you're not being true to yourself as well. And I feel like you're not being true to yourself, then you can't really be true to God in the same sense. So I don't know. I don't know. I kind of see it from a different point of
Mm-hmm.
view, but I do get what you guys are saying.
Yeah, I can kind of see both sides. Like, I definitely think there's a place to have like more strict rules. It's just like for me, a big concern is that young people now are not as religious as older people, right? And so I'm trying to think. Like, I know that like I can't solve that problem by myself, but then it's like, well, I know most young kids today hate being told what to do about anything, and
Hmm.
so it's almost like how do you open these kids up to like a more orthodox style of religion? And I like to be honest, I don't know if you really can. Like, because I kind of started as like I guess a non-denominational Christian, but now I'm kind of looking more to get into like the orthodox side. You know what I mean? Like, there's kind of trying to think
Explain
of like
those two, non-denomination versus orthodox.
yeah.
'Cause
So
I
like when
don't know
I
what that
think of
means.
like a non-denominational Christian is like you're not like a Catholic, you're not an Orthodox Christian, you're not
Oh,
Episcopalian or
okay.
any of the other derivatives. You're basically just like a run of the mill. You believe in Jesus Christ and God,
Okay.
and that's pretty much it. But like you don't go to church really. You don't like do any of the rules that like the specific religions have. It's pretty much you believe in God and Jesus Christ, and then you're good to go. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that the kind of natural trend that people would probably take is to like start there and then as they get older
Dig deeper.
dig a little bit deeper. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can agree with that because I feel like when you're first getting introduced to anything, like you don't want to just you can't just be like, well, I'm gonna go straight into Islam or something. Like you can't like you probably won't you probably have a hard time for yourself, right? So I feel like the way you're talking about like just getting introduced to like maybe the Bible or having conversations with God or something like I feel like reading the verse like a day, like just getting introduced to what's in the Bible wouldn't I don't think that would hurt anybody to even young kids like all right like you can teach them the most basic verse of the Bible or just things that would apply to them in their daily lives. Like I feel like that's like the easiest way to reach out to people
Is
about
there
like religion.
is there a app or you had an app on your phone you used to, right? Is there an app you use for
Yeah,
that?
it's just called the Bible app. It has like Holy Bible, and if you download that, like they'll give you. I don't even know if
Okay.
you have to create an account or anything, but they'll give you like a daily verse every
Okay.
day. Like you can even set like notifications so it like pops up at like whatever time you wake up in the morning or anytime throughout the day or anything like that. Um, but like what I was saying, like I don't know. So just I feel like just going in like that because I feel like once you come off like trying to preach to somebody, like I feel like that turns them away as well. So
Mm-hmm.
like my whole thing like with religion, kind of why I stopped posting verses is like I just want people to see like I want people to try to get into religion through my actions and what I'm showing the people, how I'm treating people, what they see me doing for others. Like kind of lead more by example than what I'm saying because you see people online, you see people in person always preaching, preaching, preaching about you know things, and they'll turn around and be doing the opposite behind closed doors. And it's like, I know everybody got like skeletons in the closet and stuff, but I never want to be that person where I'm like, I'm not practicing what I preach. So I rather just I'd rather
Yeah.
show my grace through my actions towards others and with people than just saying, oh, you should follow this book because it's right. Like, you know what I mean?
And from a follower standpoint, that's a way easier person to follow. Someone like that, lead them by example. Um, I do want to ask because Steve Harvey's brought it up. Steve Harvey's someone I listen to. He's got me to really believe in God and all that. Um, what is your definition of faith and what is your definition of hope?
Um, Faith, I think, is just believing in like believing in something that you can't see in front of you right now. Whether that's believing you'll get a job in the future, or believing that God's gonna help you out of this situation, or believing in another person to come through for you. I feel like having faith is believing in something or somebody, uh, that something like that's not really apparent in front of you right now. Could be a situation, could be a physical object, something like that. Hope. I'm not sure. I never really thought about that. Hope. I think. Um, I don't know. I feel like it's similar to faith, but I just feel like you can hope. Like, oh, I hope I'm a millionaire one day, but if you're not putting any action towards that, then nothing's gonna happen. You can hope for a lot of things, but that doesn't mean nothing. Anything's gonna necessarily come out of it. I think I don't know. Just off the top of my head, that's what I would kind of separate those two. Um, I
What
Okay.
know
about you,
some people.
Trevor? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Okay. I don't know. I've
Yeah,
been working on it a little. Uh,
Okay.
I don't know. Faith is me knowing deep down everything's gonna be all right. Pretty much. I have faith in myself that I'm gonna be okay. Uh, or I have faith in God to take me, like you said, I have faith in God to take me out of this situation I'm in. Uh, hope. Hope is something you need in order to get to faith. Like in order to have faith, you have to be hopeful. Like if you don't see how you could get out, if you don't have the vision of getting out of the slums, have the vision of having, I hope one day I'm a millionaire. Uh, I think there's no way to, not no way, but I think it's easier to achieve faith when you have hope.
I think they breed each other. Like hope breeds faith and faith breeds hope. Like if I was in a hopeless situation, say I was like in some gulag in like Russia or something, I would say that that is about as hopeless as it gets right now. But like, would I still believe in God knowing that I'm in a hopeless situation? I don't know. It's tough to say not being in there, but like, I would like to think so. Just thinking about the next life, like if the one that I'm currently in isn't is at its
Yeah.
end, then I'd like to be on the good side of the next one.
yeah. I know there's something in the Bible that says like faith without works is dead, and I feel like that's kind of talking about hope in a way because, like we were saying, like you can hope, about a lot of things. Like you can hope, you can get out of a bad situation, but I feel like if you're not just not actively trying to do things to, do things on your own end besides believing, then the likelihood of that happening is lower. So
It Yeah, it almost reminds me of like a goal versus like a standard. Like I'd like to achieve a goal, but like if it doesn't happen, it's like okay, whatever. But like if the standard is a 10-second 100 meter, like I have to make that or else I'm gonna be off the team. So I
right.
kind of think as faith as more of the like hope is wanting something to happen, and faith is like knowing that it's gonna happen, even though it's not. Like yeah, that's all you have to
Even
go
though you
off. It's
don't,
like
yeah, that's it. Yeah, you
yeah, it's
know.
like a trust. It's like a metaphorical trust fall, dude.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You're kind of submitting yourself to something else, knowing that it's going to happen, but like in the current time, we can't see the future. We don't know, but we just know something good is going to happen.
Yeah. Tony, do you have anyone you follow? Any influencers or anyone you listen to? Any like motivational speeches or anyone? Any content?
Like religious
Like
wise, or just like
yeah,
in
yeah,
general.
like religious wise.
Um, I used to, but like it's funny because I used to listen to he was like a young pastor. His name was he had like I forgot his name. It's like Todd. Hold on, let me look up real quick.
I was about
It's
to
like
say I'll pull it up real quick.
Michael Todd, I think.
Sounds like a rapper, bro. Young pastor.
Michael Todd is a pastor.
Yeah, yeah. So I used to listen to. I used to
Tulsa.
watch like. Yeah, yeah. So when I was in school, like I'd obviously I try to go to like different churches while I was at different schools, but a lot of times I just wasn't really vibing with it for different reasons. But so I started watching this. Like I used to see a lot of people post about him on like Instagram and stuff, Instagram, Twitter. Used to see his tweets and I resonated with them, so I used to start watching his like live church services like every Sunday on YouTube because that's what like a lot of people do now. Like they'll stream their services on YouTube, so people that don't want to go or can't go, still have access and stuff.
Wow,
So I started
yeah.
watching those. Yeah, so I started watching him a lot, and he would talk about a lot of different stuff. Like, he would talk about his own experiences like with depression, and I know he did like a whole sermon on like how he battled like porn addiction and stuff like that. So it was like he was saying really relatable things that you could resonate with, and uh, and obviously like you don't see a lot of like young like black pastors like just for me personally that like you can relate with. So that obviously was a thing for me. I don't really watch them anymore though because I don't even know if you can see it like on your computer, but I think there was like a controversy where he like assaulted somebody or he did something that it was just like, all right, like I don't want to support, like I don't want to have my name attached to
Yeah,
that
here
type
it
of
is.
thing.
A video of Mike Todd wiping his spit on man's face.
Yeah, nah, like
Oh,
see it, bro, and
Lord.
that's what I'm talking about. Like yeah, like there's no way you can justify that. Like I'm sorry, like I know
No,
it was.
changing
I know it
something
was
and you don't
done. I believe it was done in the Bible somewhere where spit was used to like cure somebody of blindness. But like I don't know, like that's not gonna slide. Like,
There's a two
if
minute.
someone,
Hang on, there's a 2 minute video.
bro, if someone slapped me with their own saliva and were like, "Oh, I was trying to improve your vision, bro." Oh,
I'm sorry, like I just can't.
yo, I mean, it's go back to what you're saying, dude. Like they're not practicing what they're preaching.
I just yeah. So it's just things like that. Like that's what kind of turns me off from like the stuff like that. Is just what kind of draws me,
Hard to
turns me
get
away.
behind.
It's hard too, because then you think, well, what else is this dude bullshitting me about? That's what
Yeah, I mean,
that's
I
what
like. I don't even think it's necessarily like BS, but it's just like sometimes he just goes like he goes over the top in like how he demonstrates like certain things, and it's just like when you're doing stuff like that, it's just like it's like I'm not about to be trying to do that to somebody that like for them to like reveal something to them, like, and I'm just not personally with that, so I kind of stopped watching from there, and mostly I kind of just the church I go to now is mostly like it's mostly Nigerians and like people from like the African continent that live out
Yeah.
here. Like so it's in Harvey, but
Oh,
it's mostly
it's in
yeah.
Harvey.
Yeah, I mean it's cool though.
It's in the
It's
good
kind
part
of
of Harvey.
off street. Yeah, like we have like a nice building and things like that, or like a nice small building that out the way and things like
Oh,
that.
so what
But
do you guys normally do on a Sunday? I've been thinking about going to just a church, just on any Sunday, just going to one, figuring out what it's like, because I haven't been to one.
um,
What on an average Sunday? What is it normally like for you?
so like I said, so my church is mostly Nigerian, so
Mm-hmm.
our experience is gonna be different from
Yeah,
like if you went to like a regular
it's gonna be
like
a little different than mine.
even if you went to like a regular like black church is different from that. If you went to like like a mostly white church, it's I feel like the experience is different just based on kind of what people you're around. And so I would try for you, I'd say try to go to like a more diverse church so you can see like they kind of tend to be like more modern and more modern in their ideas and things like that, and more accepting of people because sometimes sometimes they just I don't know, church people aren't always the best people. I'll just say that. But
Yeah.
like for me, I say so our church service starts at 10. We usually do like praise and worship, like singing, till about 10:30. Maybe like if they're going crazy, like maybe like 10:45. Um, and then after that, we usually do like a little bit of prayer. Like the pastor will come up or somebody else like to introduce the pastor. Um, do like a little bit of prayer, and then she'll go into the message. Um, During the message, like we're she's preaching, doing her thing. We're taking down verses, kind of reading from the book. Um, after that, after that, it's not usually that's kind of where it ends for most churches, but we kind of have like we do like announcements. I mean, churches a lot of churches do announcements as well, but we do announcements, and then we have this thing called like Thanksgiving. So I'll just use like our family for example. So basically, when the last time we had like a Thanksgiving is basically you giving thanks to God for things that have happened in your life. So recently my sister graduated from college this past December, and like my parents are working on new things for like their business, and we're getting like making really good strides. So my parents felt like they want to have a Thanksgiving like about 2 weeks ago, like 2 weeks ago on Sunday, where you kind of just go around like the church, and everybody that kind of knows you personally will also celebrate with you, and you kind of just go around the church, and then you get to the front and you kind of just speak on like your experience, like, all right, this is what was going on with us, and this how God helped us through this, and we're very thankful for this happening, and we hope that we'll be able to come and do this again this time next year or in 6 months time, or just kind of giving thanks for the things that have succeeded in your life, basically. Uh, and we'll kind of end off with that. And then they have a lot of things going on during the week. Usually have prayer meetings and services and stuff during the week sometimes. So yeah, that's kind of how
Yeah.
typical church service goes in Nigerian church. So
Yeah, how is the Nigerian church like different from like the run of the mill black church, so to speak? Because like I don't know anything about that.
I mean, like just like culturally is different. Like people will be dressed in like traditional like Nigerian clothing. Trevor, you can kind of show on my Instagram if you don't kind of know what that looks like, because I have some pictures up on there of stuff that I wear to church. So the clothing's different. The music is different. So it's usually like African praise songs. It's not like things you'll hear during like you know Christmas or other religious American music. It's mostly sung in like our tribal languages, and sometimes we translate it to English, but most of the time it's in like Yoruba language, or and then I don't know. It's just like it's people from different places act differently. So like I can't. It's kind of hard for me to describe exactly how they're different because like I grew up out here, but obviously my parents and things like that they're obviously from a different country, so it's like it's different. It's kind of different like identity wise, but I just think I don't know. They just I don't know. I'll say they run about the same time, but I'll just say the language they speaking is different. Their praise songs are different. Um, I kind of say the way they preach, I say is about the same because they tend to be very passionate. Um, from mostly from what I've seen about like what they're preaching about. So I say that'd be the difference.
Would we be welcome at a church like that, me and Trevor?
No, definitely, definitely. Yeah, there's a lot of white people that come. I mean, I wouldn't say a lot, but there's people that come frequently, like maybe a few. If we're inviting people to like we have I know this week they're like celebrating their 23rd anniversary. So basically they're having like some type of event like every day throughout the week. And they're always encouraging us to invite people. Like it doesn't matter like if you're white, black,
Yeah.
from another country. Like we always welcome everybody because we're not.
Yeah. No, that's
I
important
mean,
to
obviously,
know.
like yeah. I mean, obviously, there's like a majority of people that are there, but we're never turning away people. Like we always welcome them, always encourage them to come back. Always want to make them feel like they belong, and stuff like that. So we're never like secretly like wish they don't come back or something like that. Like nah, our church is very welcoming, and I brought some of my friends like sometimes like luck of the draw would just have it that they're with me like on Sunday or something. I'll just be like, you want to come, like you don't
You
have to,
brought
you don't want
you
to,
brought
but
Daryl there before, Bogard?
yeah, I brought Daryl,
Yeah.
I brought some of my I haven't really spoke to him in a while too,
Yeah, I
but
forgot about him. I don't know why I thought of him, but
yeah, I brought plenty of friends there, and
yeah.
they're all welcoming and
Yeah, because I was listening to
stuff like
NPR a
that.
few
I
months ago.
wouldn't.
No, but they were talking about how like from 9 to 11 is like on Sunday morning is like the most segregated time in America. I'm like, I mean, I'd be down to go to like a black church.
Well, for
I just,
me, that's what
yeah.
I mean, I grew up in the same town Tony grew up in. Um, that's who I get along with more. I get along with more with black people than white people. It's just I don't I think it's where I grew up, and I think now that I think about it now, I would prefer going to their church first than going to.
I mean, it's all about like class and like wealth and shit, dude. Like we said it before on the show. I have way more in common with both of y'all than I do fucking Hillary Clinton.
Jeff
Just like I'd
Bezos.
imagine, yeah, like Tony, I'd imagine you have a lot more in common with Trevor than you do Barack Obama. Like,
Right. Yeah.
like
Yeah. I don't think you guys should. I don't think you guys should be discouraged from just trying to go anywhere. Like even like you say, you're trying to get your journey started. I don't think you should be discouraged from going anywhere and just seeing how it is. Like obviously, if that place isn't, you don't feel welcome in that place. You don't feel like it's good. For like a good environment to be in. Obviously, not everywhere is going to be like a good environment, so you just got to kind of find what works for you. Like I said, I didn't stay at every church that I went to. Like during college, I went to multiple different churches because I need to find one that kind of matched up with what I thought was right. And like I said, like these people talk about religious people talk about sin a lot, and people sin every day. Like that's what I be trying to say. Like people do wrong things every day, and it's like I feel like to try to weigh out like certain wrongs. I mean, obviously some are worse than others, but like on the basic scale, like you can't really. I feel like you can't really judge somebody when if people looked at what you're doing every day, 24/7. I know a lot of people would be switching up on that stance.
Man, let me tell you something. I ain't coming back
Oh
no more.
yeah.
yo.
So I mean, like I said, if a church is making you not feel welcome and judging you for certain reasons, I think that's not a place where you should be, and you shouldn't base your perception on religion off of that one place.
Yeah. Now,
Just like any other situation.
there's another thing my family never really did either, and it's say grace before meals. Does your family do that? Have you done that?
Yeah, like when we eat together, definitely.
What
Um,
does that prayer sound like?
um, it's not like anything like special, like unless it's like for like a special occasion, I would say. I
Thanksgiving,
don't think
yeah.
it's, yeah, I mean, like, obviously, like when it's it's more family and like a bigger table, you might say something more, more lengthy or something like that, to include everybody. But most of the time, it's just like, thank you, God, for bringing us together. Like, thank you for keeping us safe, letting us prepare this food. Bless the hands that prepared this food. Let it be nourishing to our bodies. And we just thank you, for everything that you've done for us. Continue to do things for us. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. Or something along those lines. Like, it doesn't have to be, praying over every ingredient of the food or something,
Bless this paprika.
Yeah, so people be
Thank the
hungry too,
Lord for the
man. Like,
basil in this.
God
yeah,
bless my wife. Well, no,
so
that's something that I struggle with too, because like when I was a teenager, especially, I was like such a textbook like angry atheist teenager. Like when I heard
Oh
people
yeah.
saying grace, dude, that made no sense to me because I'm like, I made this food, or like my mom made this food. Like the heavens aren't opening up and delivering me a ribeye, like my mom is doing.
yeah, I
But
mean,
now, no, you know what I
no,
mean? No, like you can see why I would think that.
yeah. And I just think like it's like a prayer for it's like praying for you basically. Like,
Yeah.
if you made the food, like bless your hands that, you made this food. Like I pray that, you were just pray that you prepared it, correctly so we don't get sick from it. And I just pray that he'll continue to bless you going forward. So, you can continue to make great meals and things like that. And,
Yeah.
There is
It,
some symbology.
by the sounds of it, it's because what I've been dealing with recently is it's the beginning of my journey, so I don't have the constant like reminder of God in my head because it's something new. So something like that, saying grace for me, just even if it's to myself, if I'm eating right here to myself, that's just a reminder that God is still there with me going through. It's just like a natural stopping point. I'm about to eat. Let me calm down, say a couple words, and get to eating. That's how I'm kind of picturing it for me right now.
yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't think it needs to be like anything extravagant or anything. Like, just take a moment, you know. Sometimes you may forget, stuff
Yeah.
happens. So, and I just, like I don't like when I pray, like before I eat, it's not like I'm saying like, I'm saying it out loud or anything. Like most of the time, I just, just bow my head and say it in my head or something, or like whisper it or something. Like so, I mean, it's not like you don't have to do too much, when you're doing it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing I try to get across to like even like you coming into it, like bro, you don't feel like you have to follow like following things like they were doing in you know 500 BC. Like just don't feel like you have to stay by those standards because it's like I don't know if this is 100% true, but I heard that like I feel like it's kind of like the same thing somebody said with the Constitution. Like it was supposed to be updated every so many years
It would
because
make sense to update it every generation.
the people that are living, yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like everything in the like that was in the Bible doesn't really apply to today. Like you can turn it into a certain situation that will apply to today, but like everything isn't the same. So I feel like you shouldn't be always followed by those same standards that that were present in the book of the Bible because if you live by everything you saw in the Bible, you probably wouldn't be. You might be in jail or something. Like
Oh,
doing
I
some wild stuff. Like
I
Do
think
some
a
wild
problem
stuff.
a problem I think is people take the Bible like very literally. So like you take the first verse of Genesis and how God created the world in what was it, like 4 days or something. Like people
7 or 6.
7 days, sure. People will like read that and think a week. It's like you have no idea what a day is to God. A day could be a billion years. We have no idea. And it could be the same thing with other things that the Bible says. Like that may not literally be what it means. It might be something more symbolic. And I think that's where people kind of
It's the gaining of perspective, and that was another thing I was gonna ask Tony is like so. I had a couple misfortunate things happen to me even yesterday, and I will honestly say not once did I turn to God. When something bad happens to you, what is your first reaction? My first reaction is to deal with my emotion. Whatever the emotion is, I have to deal with that first so I can think rationally. And then how do you like bring up like do you just think of God or do you not? Do you get through your bad thing without him and then later talk to him?
Um, so I'll say it kind of depends on the thing first. Like obviously if it's like a small inconvenience, obviously I might just be like I might not think about it in that moment. If it's like a small inconvenience, like I have to go run an errand or something, like my mom calls me, like go pick this thing up, like honestly you don't want to do it, but it's not like want to be like, oh God, I need help with this, like please help me get through this, like
Give me the
but I
strength.
feel yeah, but I mean obviously like when I'm in more like I won't even say dire situations, but like more like maybe draining situations, I would definitely say something like God give me the strength or like just Lord help me. Like if I'm about to get started, like even when I was racing, like even like when I was racing in track, like I would always be like I always got super nervous before I got on the line. Like I'd just be standing there like maybe a race or two before I would go. I'd just be like, Lord help me. Like I get on the line, I'm always saying like I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, which is like a very popular verse. So I just say like things like that. I would do like just little sayings, little phrases just to keep me like calm me down maybe or like just get me back into my right state of mind. Um, but I do get how it'd be harder if it was like, you're dealing with like interpersonal issue, like might be like conflict resolution, and things like that. I don't think religion tends to come to my head like in the forefront. Um, I'll just tend to, like you said before, like deal with your emotions in that moment and maybe come back to it later because I feel like I don't know. I feel like it doesn't. I feel like sometimes you need more time to process like that kind of with God than you might have in that certain moment. Somebody's trying to fight you or something. You don't have time to be like, God, what should I do right here? Like,
Come on, God. Tell this man get up off me.
bro,
Man,
right.
come
Yeah.
on.
So uh, so it seems like I think it really depends on the situation and kind of how much time you have to process what you're going through and how best to deal with that situation.
Yeah, I'm a little bit kind of different. I like to think about God really in like small things too, especially like yesterday, I was trying to buy a lottery ticket at the store, but the freaking machine wouldn't take my $10 bill. And I'm like getting kind of angry because I wanted to get a lottery ticket. I'm trying to get some money, bro. But the machine wouldn't take it. And I'm like, okay, this must just be meant to be. Like with your car, Trevor, that was
Mhm.
like, when it wouldn't start. That's annoying as hell.
I
Sure,
bought
but
a 1979 Corvette on Thursday for a decent amount of cash, and on Friday, the guy messed with the carburetor, so it wasn't starting,
oh no.
and I got stuck.
Uh,
And I was
But
like, "So,
yeah, but who's to say though? Had that car worked, you wouldn't have gotten T-boned and killed. You
yeah,
know.
exactly, yeah,
And then in the bigger kind of aspect, like zooming out, I just keep reminding myself like there's nothing that's going to happen to me that I won't be able to deal with.
yeah."
So my one
Especially
thing
with
I
God on your side.
yeah. But one thing I wanted to ask you, Tony, is like, what do you say to the people that's like, they say there's so much suffering and bad things going on in the world. How would God allow that?
so that's something I actually kind of struggle with, like as I was, because like I said before, like I told Trevor this, like I'm not like the like perfect Christian. Like I still question a lot of things about the Bible and religion in general. But I just think when you think about all the bad stuff that happens, like I think God gave us free will basically. Like so he said we can do what we want to do. Um but obviously he gave us like at the same time he gave us like a set of rules to follow. But at the end of the day, like we can do whatever we want to do. Like he made us have free will. So it's like whatever humans choose to do. Like I don't know why he like would allow it, but he gave us. So it's like I don't know how to explain it. Like he allows us to do what we want to do. So like just human nature is kind of what we see now. Like it's destructive. So he lets it play out. As, I don't know why he lets it play out as he does. Like to bring people closer to him, maybe. But that's something I've struggled with myself. Like I haven't been able to answer that question for myself.
Yeah, no, I kind of
Like
think of it
100%.
like I think of God as obviously being smarter than all of us. Okay.
Mhm.
So like the way I liken it is like with us and like with adults and like children or with dogs. Like if you asked a kid what he wanted, he'd probably say nothing but McDonald's and to play all the time. Or
Mhm.
a dog would want to just eat everything in sight. But it's like just because the kid wants that doesn't make that best for the kid.
Right.
So who's to say that's not God's relationship with us? We may want something, but we can't see the bigger kind of.
Especially, it's then I mean that could even bring up the question: where would we be without evil? If we didn't see Hitler kill all the Jews, if we didn't see World War II happen, you know what I'm saying? Where would we be without evil? And would that be a good spot? Has God created evil so that we could see it's bad and so that the greater good can learn from it?
It's a tough one.
Mm. Like that's like kind of like so that's why I'm trying to read. I'm kind of in the process of reading the whole Bible right now, just to kind of because I want to be able to know what I'm learning about basically. Like, and I'm trying to read it from front to back, like just so I can know like all the stories and kind of have my own opinion on what I've read
Mm-hmm.
concerning that. And I feel like evil was always there because Satan has always been there. Like I don't think he was there in the beginning because he was originally, well, according to the Bible, he was like a fallen angel basically, and he was in the Garden of Eden when there was no sin yet, and then he basically coerced Eve into eating the apple, and then that's basically when they became self-aware that they were, naked and stuff, and then that was the first thing that happened, and it kind of just all went downhill from there, according to the Bible. Um, so I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this, but I feel like at the end of the day, like God can tell us what to do, but He gave us the free will to do what we want to do. So I feel like with the presence of you in the world, like I feel like being good isn't always what people want to do. Like if
I
people
mean, yeah,
had,
you could relate that to even America. America's the land of the free.
yeah,
You
like if
can do
people,
whatever you want. People are still going, literally doing whatever they want, shooting up places, shooting up schools, and
yeah,
doing
like
whatever they want.
if people really had like no law, like no, like I don't think a lot of people would be as good as they might seem. So I don't know. I just think it's a tough one that I don't really have 100% answer for, but that's just kind of what I think about it right
Like you
now.
said, it's
So
a work in progress, man.
yeah, man, it's hard to think about these
Ongoing,
things.
ongoing. Well,
Yeah.
that's why we created the podcast, is because I am a big thinker, and I reached a low point where I was thinking way too much about bad things, to where
Mm,
it was putting my life at jeopardy and the people around me. And so I turned toward
definitely.
God's, took it off my hands, and now I'm thinking about all these things with a brighter light, and it's hard as hell, because especially because I started late, man. I'm 24. I started a little later, so
Oh, like
it's
that's
hard to think about all this shit.
I don't even think that's a bad thing. Like I don't think it's a bad thing because people that get into religion too early, like sometimes they can get burnt out or like turned away from it. Like if you're just constantly being pounded with religion from the time you were a kid. Like I've seen it happen like with people around me. Like they'll just stop. Like literally, they'll get on their own. Like go to college and they'll never go to church again. Like just because their parents would just force them on them so much, like that
So
they just feel like they need to be free from it once they get like an ounce of freedom. And like you can say the same thing with like there's like a stereotype about like pastors' children, like when they get out of like the church atmosphere, like they be some of the most wild people you ever meet because like they always have to put up this front, like they're not like a regular person that makes mistakes like other people do when they are,
yeah.
and then when they finally get out of that oversight of their parents or something, like they just wild out or something, like because
So
like that's what they really
your
want to do.
parents, how were you introduced to it? It wasn't forced on you, I'm assuming,
Oh, I mean, like
or was it just more you naturally fell into it being forced on you?
yeah, I'll say more like that because it's like obviously when you like I've always like my parents were churchgoers before I was born, so it's like when I was born, like they had like they do a thing like called a baby dedication, like where basically the pastor would just like pray over you, like they have like anointing oil. It's like a blessed oil that like they'll bless you with, and they'll just pray over you. Like the church will pray over you as well, and things like that. So like I have pictures of that, like when I was like a few weeks, few months old. Like so, it's like I've been in the church for basically like my whole life, but it's like I felt like at the same time, like when I was young, I was always going, but when I got older, they kind of backed off. Like they didn't force me to go to every single event every week, or like they didn't force me to, I don't know, like go to church every Sunday. I mean, like I choose to, because it's like, what else am I gonna be doing? Like, I'm not gonna be sitting home watching TV, like, because that's not helping me any, like, you know.
Yeah,
So it's kind of like, I say I kind of was forced into it at first, but ultimately, like the choice is mine, what I want to do, and
yeah,
I think they kind of respect that, and I think we've developed like a healthy, relationship around there. Like I mean, now I say they go to church more than I do, like during the week. Um, I mean, obviously they're more involved because they're out here permanently, but like they're not, bugging me to come with them or things
yeah,
like that. And I mean, I'll still help out and stuff, but it's like, sometimes during the night, like I'm going to the gym because I'm working during the day, like.
yeah.
So obviously the times just don't match up, but um, I do like the way that they did it because I think it's healthy, and I think I don't know if that's the way everybody should do it, but I mean that's what worked for me, and I'm glad that they weren't forcing it on me like just throughout my whole life, because who knows,
Yeah.
I might have been turned away from it by now at 24, and who knows where I could have been, and so.
Yeah. You mentioned the gym. People go on your Instagram. They can see you're jacked. Well, you got any goals? You got any goals coming up for this year, the rest of the year?
um, I'm not sure, man. Yeah, honestly, it still feels weird because I was the athlete, all throughout high school and all throughout college, and I was never like I've always been in the gym, but like I was always working towards something. Like I always had a coach telling me what to do. I always had like this end goal in mind, like I wanted to medal at state, or I wanted to make nationals or something like that. And now it's like this past year is like this has been my first full year without it's been my first full year without playing a sport in college or high school or something. So I kind of just been going to the gym like just kind of I don't know, like I'm just like doing
Just
kind of
there.
whatever right now. Like
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, like I still know like my exercises I do and things like that, but I haven't like I just been kind of going just to kind of keep my mind right, like kind of keeping that competitive mindset as much as I can, like without being in sports. Um, I don't know. It's been kind of weird part of life for me. I would say just transitioning from being like basically a full-time athlete to like not just regular gym guy now.
Regular gym bro. Join the club, dog.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
and it's definitely interesting because I'm seeing like definitely more parts of like gym culture that I wasn't exposed to before, like bodybuilding aspects,
Yeah.
powerlifting aspects, and I don't think I would want to necessarily go down those routes specifically. Like just for me, I don't think I could really do the bodybuilding thing because I like to I like to eat. You feel me? Like I like to enjoy my food.
No, bodybuilding you gotta eat.
I think I mean I know you got to eat, but it's like they're more calculated.
Yeah, no, that's
They're
Oh,
very
yeah,
calculated
yeah.
in what
when they
in
do,
what they
yeah,
eat.
when they do contests and shit, and they're doing like
Oh,
sodium
it's
manipulation
insane.
and all that stuff, bro. Like,
Yeah,
oh,
like
piece of lettuce, yum.
yeah, bro. I couldn't do it,
Mm.
and that takes a very strong mind to do, and I'm not with that, and
You got the
I
strong
don't
mind, you just don't want to do it. You
I just yeah
can do
I
it,
really
you
just
just
don't.
don't
I'm
want
not with
to.
it. Like
Yeah.
I'm not with it.
Bodybuilding
Like,
is expensive too, bro. Like the ones that are making money are on so many drugs, dude. Like thousands, probably. If you were a professional bodybuilder, you could probably spend at least 10,000 a month on drugs,
yeah,
and like
like
you need it, dude.
and even just being like a college athlete, like even that, like out to watch, I couldn't really. Only cheat meals I really ate was like after a meet, like after a hard week of training, and after we ran and stuff like that. So it's like just going through that, and even like I'm just like I'm not,
Trying to
nah,
do that
man,
again.
no. So because
I'm
I know
good.
I would have to be even more disciplined than what I was before, and I don't think I'm willing to. I want to enjoy life now, I feel like I've done
Yeah,
my.
no, man. I took a step back from the gym. I started doing a bodybuilding style workout. So not like let me go be a big cool bodybuilder. I just started working out like them. And
Yeah,
it cut my weight down a lot actually. It was the first time I dropped down below 170 in my adult life. And all I did was change the way I was working out. Uh
it's
and
interesting.
and it's more relaxed, man. It's no like you said, you're in the gym working towards whatever. If
Yeah,
I'm
like I
going in
mean,
there, my reps are slower. I'm doing more reps. I'm thinking more about it. Like it's just way different. It's way different working
yeah,
out.
like I mean, honestly, like obviously you still want to like improve and stuff, but now it's like I'm focusing like mostly like I wasn't able to focus on like I wasn't able to bench like every week because obviously like when you're running, you want range of motion in your arms a lot, and benching a lot could kind of decrease that. So we didn't really focus on benching,
Mm,
or when we did bench, it's kind of light and more
yep.
focused on like putting out force and things like that. So now it's like I finally hit like 225 for the first time
Hey.
like last year. I was able to, and now like I'm improved more from that. But it's just like now I'm able to focus on like things that maybe I wasn't really able to focus on before. In the gym, and
Yeah.
trying to see how strong I can really get without taking it too seriously
One
because
thing
I think
they teach us in the army, man. One thing they teach us, and I've been saying it a lot lately, is hunt the good stuff. Uh, and that's one of them you can hunt right there. Is now you can maybe you got a bigger chest than more average people do, but you weren't able to work on it. Now you're in the gym benching every day. Maybe in 2 years now your chest is huge. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? You're able to bench more. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
shit like
yeah,
that. Just
yeah,
hunt the good
so
stuff. It's hard. It's a hard skill to learn.
yeah,
Damn,
so just
son.
more different goals now. So I
Yeah.
mean, I'm just trying to really trying to. I think it's a good outlet as well. So I'm just really trying to stay mentally well,
Yeah.
and you meet cool people in there too. So social aspect, and yeah, it's just something I never been like. Most of the times I'm working out like at the college or stuff like
Oh
that.
yeah.
So
With your boys already,
um,
right?
yeah, stuff like that. So it's good to meet new people.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I do
man.
like that. So definitely fun and looking
Well,
more get more into it.
Kev, you got anything?
What event did you run?
Um, so I ran sprints. So I ran everything from indoor. We had as low as a 60, so I ran that, and then it goes up to the 400 meters. So that's what I ran. That was my I was kind of better in. I didn't really run the long sprints until I got into college. Really, so like 400, I didn't really run until I got into college. But I was mostly like a short sprinter for most of my track
Yeah, I
career.
figured you weren't like a 5K guy. Just judging
Nah,
by your shoulders.
nah, man, I couldn't. I couldn't do that. I would die.
No, 400 meters is a painful
That
fucking
shit's
thing.
hard.
Not
Nah,
that they aren't all,
I,
but like,
Shit ain't easy, man.
yeah, it's
yeah.
like people don't think people look at it like a track and think it's not that far, but like
That fast? Going that
Oh,
fast is
when
pretty
you're actually
far.
trying to like sprint and run as fast as you can, man, like it's crazy. Like,
Yeah.
and the thing about the 400 is like no matter what happens, when you get to the end of that race, like you're gonna have pain because of like lactic acid buildup in your legs. I don't know if y'all ever had that feeling before. It's like just if you run like a quarter mile, like I don't want to say all out, but like run it at a pace where you can like and try to push yourself at
Where you can't breathe
that
at the
last
end.
Oh, bro.
man.
Anyone
Like
that, bro, people talk shit on the 400 meter, but it's like most people could not break a minute and a half in the 400 meter.
yeah, it's hard and it definitely takes like a lot of training to
What's your
even get
fastest?
good at it. My
Mine,
fastest is
Yeah, let's
uh
see actually. Yeah.
49 flat. Um, like I said, I feel like I could have ran so much better, but just the way my career went with my injuries, uh, I feel like my potential was up here, and when I got injured, like it just got cut like in half basically. But yeah, 49 flat was my fastest
What
400.
you got, Kevin?
I never broke a minute in the 400, bro. But that was
Kevin,
like,
so in the military we had to run it was 2 miles for our test. And Kevin, when he first showed up, was heavier set and slow as shit. And he caught a lot of shit from everyone around him for that. So he got super into running. And man, everyone loved him for it then. Because now he's
it's
a cool, fast guy who can
crazy.
run.
It's crazy, bro. Like people derive so much of your value in the army on how fast you can run. Like I
Yeah.
could have been a total shitbag, but I
Hmm.
could bang out a 12-minute 2 mile, which like compared to colleges is like slower than shit. But in the army, it's like if you
You're
break
a
12
god.
minutes in the 2 mile, oh yeah, you can't.
You could
You
do
can take a
anything in the army. Where do you want to go? We'll send you
bro.
anywhere. You could go do anything. Yeah.
You run a 12-minute 2 mile, you could take a shit on the hangar floor, and people would applaud you for it. It's
Yeah.
remarkable.
No
Like, bro,
bullshit.
I don't think you guys realize how slow you actually are. Like, people bust out 14-minute 5Ks in college. It's like, bro,
When I
I'm,
was at Indiana, I had multiple. Our distance program was like one of the best in the country, and there was multiple people on our team that went under 4 minutes in the mile. So it was pretty crazy to see.
yeah, I
It's
want to
like
Under
say,
4 minutes. It's
oh,
insane.
dude, people are so fast.
359, 358 or
Is that
something.
like,
I think.
are you sprinting the whole time or they just got fast at like 80%?
So with that, they're running every 400 meters is a minute or under basically. So they're splitting so basically the mile is about 1,600 meters, give or I think it's a bit over.
I want to
But
say it's 1609.
yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it.
Yes.
So basically, you're running under a minute for each lap. So that's like a really fast pace to keep, especially for a whole mile. So like a lot of the times, like and I can only this is only me watching because obviously I didn't do distance workouts, but they would do like a lot of reps at like maybe they would do like a lot of maybe 200 or 400-meter reps like during our workouts, but they would do them like maybe like 30 seconds and they would take like small break and then just go again like 30 seconds again, like 30
Oh,
seconds
and you
200
would take
again.
the longer break and go again?
No, I'm saying like so they'll do 200 meters they'll have to make it in 30 seconds and they will take like a short break, like maybe a 30-second break, and have to do it again and do like multiple, maybe like 20 reps. It's like a crazy workout
What
that
were
they would
you
have to do
doing?
to be able to. Uh, I was doing more like more sprint endurance, so it'd be like depending on the day, they would depending on like the time of season and like the part of the season that we're in is the workouts are different. So I said maybe in season we would do like if I was training for the 400, we would do like 300-meter runs like at a certain time, like maybe 80% of our full speed, but you'd only have a certain amount of rest. So by the time you're getting to the last two reps, like this is where like this is where the mental part comes in, like where
Yeah.
you're actually getting better at, like where you're pushing yourself and where that's what's gonna make the difference. You get a personal best in your next race or something like that. So that's what we would do. We would usually stay like under, if we're not in fall training, we usually stay under like 500 meters in our workouts, and we kind of just do reps and rest times based on that, and different combinations of those based on just depends on what we're trying to work on, really. But yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. I was doing like a minute on, minute off. I'd like pretty much sprint for a minute and then like shuffle for a minute for like like a half hour or something.
That would be like yeah, that's more like we would do that stuff, but that would be like we would be like on a trail or something, like that would be like more during like the fall time or like summertime workouts, because those are like just more building your base for like building your endurance up so you have enough to be able to do like the faster workouts. Because
Oh.
when you're doing like 300s at like 80% of your speed, like that takes a lot out of you. And if you don't have the base for it, like you can't just like if I went and tried to go do like a mid-season workout right now, like I don't think I'll make it through half of it.
Oh no,
So
you
it's
gotta
like
be yeah, you gotta be
yeah,
putting
so
in
it's
that
like we'll be
5 days a week.
yeah, like so we have to, build up that base during like that's what we usually do from like August to I'll say about November is like we're just basically just building up our endurance. So when we get to the season, we'll be able to run fast, but like be able to stay running fast because we have then we have that base that we built earlier part of the year. So we won't get injured, so things like that, and just be able to keep on performing. We won't get tired from meet and be able to keep performing at a high level and things like that throughout the whole year. So
Damn.
yeah,
Yeah,
Well,
that's all I had. I
that's what
wanted
I'm
to
saying.
ask.
Like that's why I say we couldn't just be eating anything because like if you're just eating shit, then
get you a honey bun.
it's just like you're not gonna be able to get through the workouts, and then consequently that ruins your performances at the end of the day, and then your coach is not happy, you're not happy, and it just makes the whole experience worse. So you really
Yeah.
have to lock in during those times. So
Damn. Well, Tony, we're at an hour 15. I appreciate it a lot. It was good talking to you, man. It's been a
yeah,
while.
one more thing because
I'll,
I forgot you asked this in the beginning, and I didn't say it because I had to. But what my bio says,
oh, that's right. Yeah,
um,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Hang
So
on, your
it's
camera cut out. I want to see you say it too.
oh my bad. I'm trying to read it because
Oh, okay, okay. My bad. My bad. Go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, 'cause I don't know off the top of my head, but it's Oluwa ma fabe me, and it means Lord don't forget me. So yeah, that's my Yoruba language. And,
Lord, don't forgive me.
yeah,
Don't
so
forget me.
yeah, so it's like a saying that we have.
Is it forgive or forget?
Forget.
Yeah, yeah. You want
Forget.
But like
forgiveness.
Okay.
just keep watching over me, things like that. Yeah. So I just wanted to, because I forgot to
Yeah.
mention
No,
that.
you're
I
good,
didn't
bro.
say that earlier
You're
in my
good,
Yeah.
bro.
call, man.
Man. No, like I said, I appreciate you coming on, man. It was fun. I'm glad I got to talk to you again. It's been a while. We didn't say
Yeah,
this
no,
either. Me and
definitely.
Tony used to play baseball, man. all as a
Oh
kids,
yeah,
yeah, throughout school. That's we were playing on
yeah,
baseball.
man.
Um, for man, years we were on a couple teams together,
Yeah,
or at least
man.
playing each
Definitely.
other. But
Yeah, good times. It was good times back then, man.
yeah, man. But yeah, hopefully you come back on soon, man. We'll spread the word around with this. I want to talk to a lot of the old guys. Jesse Graham. I want to talk to
Yeah, I
him
know he
again.
just he just started his own little podcast
No
with
way.
with one of our other friends called Part Time called the Part Time Podcast. I can send a link to you guys if you want.
Yeah. Send a leak. We'll throw that down at the bottom.
I think they're maybe 2 or 3 episodes deep now, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I think that would definitely be good because uh, everybody out here is doing different things. Like
Yeah.
I didn't even know that he was in Florida, man. Honestly, like it was just crazy, like being able to reconnect and things and see where people
Yeah.
are right now and
Yeah. Just
different paths they take. And,
exactly. Yeah. Just trying to get back. Especially now, everyone's kind of done with college. I didn't get to do college, but I naturally stopped after the army around that time. So get to
yeah,
see
and
what
even
everyone's up to.
yeah, I know even their co-host, Jesse's co-host, his name is Mikhail. He went to HF with us. I know he's in
Mikhail. Yeah.
yeah, Mikhail Wells. I know he was in the Navy as well,
Oh, okay.
and he's out here now.
Damn.
I don't know
I think
what.
I have Jesse's Instagram. You got his number?
Yeah,
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 I'll have to still I need your number too, shit.
yeah. I can give you all that after this. But
Yeah, man. But yeah, I
no,
appreciate it.
yeah, no, I appreciate you guys for having me. It was definitely a pleasure, and
You got
hopefully
you got
give
anything
you
you want
guys
to say
some.
to someone struggling? That's our audience. That's our target audience, people struggling. So
Hey, I just say definitely it looks different. Just trying to be there for people. Obviously we all have our own struggles. I've been like I said before, I've been, at that very low point in my life as well. And sometimes just check on, people that, you haven't heard from in a while. Because I wish, some people did that with me in my dark moments. And also just don't be afraid to reach out yourself. Like, if you feel like nobody reaching out to you, don't be afraid to reach out because sometimes people don't know. Sometimes people don't know that you're going through something. You might be able to put on a very good front about it, and sometimes you just don't be scared to ask for help. And yeah, that's really all I got.
yeah, amen. Yeah. Yeah. No, with
Yeah,
that, Kev, you got anything?
No, brother, I'm all good. I will thank you for coming on the show tonight. I really enjoyed this episode. And, yeah, no,
yeah,
don't be
no,
afraid to ask for help.
yeah, man. No, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Appreciate you guys let me tell my own perspective, and hopefully it helps you guys see a different view, something like that.
Yeah, man.
Anybody listening, hopefully they see a
I think
different
it's gonna
view.
help me a lot, at least. If it don't help no one else, I'll at least
Yeah,
listen to it again and get something out of it. But with that,
yeah.
everybody, keep your head up, strive forward, go up, and we'll see you next time. Peace.